I'm 1,700 meters in the high alpine. Was 12 pounds of gear enough, is the question. I'm up here in the mountains in the middle of winter. Tonight it's gonna drop below 0, and I've only got 12 pounds of gear to get through it. The goal is simple: make it through the night and get back safely. Just making way through the fresh snowpack. It's a little bit slow moving, getting going here. Nothing like some steep incline to start off the morning. Feels good to be out of that tree line. Now, as the avalanche conditions are somewhat a little bit heightened today, I don't want to be taking any risks on these slopes that are exposed like this. So I'm going to take a little turn and see if I can find a safer route up. I'm trying to zigzag as much as possible while making it up this little bit of slope here. When I'm alone by myself, I'm going to do my best to mitigate risk. One step forward, 2 steps back. The wind is starting to pick up quite a bit. Staying well away from this edge to the left of me. There's a cornice running along that side there. So giving that section a wide berth. The wind is starting to get crazy out here. It was blasting pretty hard for a while. I think we're really gonna have to be selective about where we make shelter tonight. A little worried, if I'm honest. Wasn't expecting the winds to be this bad. You can't always listen to weather predictions, but we'll have to adapt and figure out a plan here. Just taking a beating in this wind right now. Here, but the winds are so intense it's going to be a bit tricky to get my shelter established, so I may have to tuck in a little bit more to figure out some better protection to get my camp established for the night. Just looking for a little bit of wind cover. The wind is at full force today. This wind is getting crazy out here. Having just to tuck in for protection. So the wind has been absolutely insane. I didn't exactly get to the ideal spot I pictured for the evening, but we got to be adaptable sometimes. So I've dropped down a bit into this little section here. I got some protection from the trees to keep a bit of the wind off me, and I'm gonna try to establish camp here for the night. We gotta remember that the mountain is in charge, and we just gotta be adaptable sometimes. So out of the 12 pounds of gear I brought this lightweight shovel so I can dig a little bit of a trench to get me out of the elements and give a little bit of protection from this crazy wind. And daylight's gonna slowly run out, so I gotta get on that immediately. This is a much better spot from the wind. Coming out at this elevation with only 12 pounds, this shovel right here is a non-negotiable. Now that I got my safety and my protection established from the elements, it's a positive step to get through the evening. The wind has been relentless today. As much as I don't want to do it, I gotta strip down and get into my base layers. I didn't want to be hiking up in my base layers because I didn't want to be sweating, but I brought these along. These are T3 merino wool base layers, so I'm gonna get these on to give me a little bit of extra protection for the night. Woo! Oh my God. Whew. Oh. Oh my God. It is absolutely freezing up here today. One really important piece of gear to my kit. This down jacket, which is a part of my kit and a part of the overall 12 pounds of gear, is going to be one of my key sources of insulation to help me get through the night safely. It's really holding in the heat nicely. This foldable camp seat is something I always bring up at these elevations. It'll keep me from losing heat from sitting on the cold ground, and I can also use it to cook and have my fuel on this, where I won't lose heat to the ground and have my fuel not being able to work in these freezing cold conditions. That feels better. This wind has just been nuts. And it's long overdue time for a coffee. God. Woo. Oh, it's one of the best coffees I ever had. You have no idea how good it feels to drink this right now. Above all, it's just so warming. Now as the sun's slowly going down, I'm going to be getting the rest of my bedding and protection ready for the evening. One of the most crucial, important pieces of gear that I have with me in this kit today is this good warm sleeping pad. In these winter conditions, at this elevation, this is something I'll never go without. So this is going to be one of my main sources of safety to help me get through the night safely. Most of our heat loss is lost to the ground. This right here is a non-negotiable for me in these winter conditions. And I got with me a warm down sleeping bag with my warm jacket and this insulation and the ground beneath me. These are going to be my main safety mechanisms to get me through the night. And the final item to my sleep system here is this emergency bivy bag. This is mainly used as a last resort, but this will help reflect heat back to me and will be some extra insurance to help me get through the night safely. In these conditions, I need as much help as possible. And in a 12-pound kit, this was definitely worth fitting in. It's gonna drop into well below freezing temperatures tonight, and with that wind, I need as much protection as I can. And with the amount of wind, I'm gonna lay my backpack as a weight down on my sleeping stuff. The last thing I want is to take a step away and have the wind blow this away. Gotta pack one of these guys.
As I settled in for the night, one of the best full moons I've ever seen rose over the mountains.
I can tell right now it's going to be a cold night.
Before turning in, I melt some snow and make one last hot drink to get me through the cold night.
I think I'm gonna sign out for the night. The wind's been picking up back and forth. I'm gonna get inside my bed and get warm, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Even stepping out for a moment, you have to be cautious with the wind out here. You can't get complacent.
The wind got pretty crazy last night. Wished I could say I got a better sleep. I gotta say, this windbreak right here, plus the tree cover, was just enough to keep the wind at bay. The wind is getting pretty crazy again. I'm gonna have a hot drink, and then I'm gonna slowly get out of here. Woo. It actually started snowing this morning. Pretty grateful it didn't start snowing until kind of after I woke up. If it was snowing all last night, that would have been a different story. But I have an emergency blanket, which I can set something up as a last resort. But it's kind of nice we're able to avoid that. So I'm just wrapping up here, and the question is, was 12 pounds of gear enough for the mountains in winter? I made it through the night safely and fairly comfortably as well, but there's a very big difference between lightweight and recklessness, and I really made sure I focused on all the key safety factors. My first line of defense, which is my clothing, I made sure I had well more than enough layers, and as well my sleep system, which was my main form of protection for the night. I also want to mention it's very important to know yourself well and not take any unnecessary risks. I've been doing this for quite a while, so I know my limits of what I can safely do, and I really think that's important to each individual to really know what to not push beyond to be able to not get yourself in a dangerous situation. And if you enjoyed this video and got some value from it, your support goes a long way. Any likes, comments, or subscriptions are greatly appreciated, and I'll see you again soon.